Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your third and final video blog of the night for Tuesday, April 14th, 2015, around 8:18 p.m. in Billerica, Massachusetts. Sun's down, and here is the news. Sad news to report in the world of music. Singer Percy Sledge, famous for singing the song When a Man Loved a Woman, passed away at the age of 74. Prayers to his family. Also, actor Terry Crews is out as host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the syndicated version, and replacing him will be Chris Harrison, who hosts The Bachelor and Bachelorette on ABC. He's the new host of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Chris Harris hosted a game show previously, Mall Masters, for GSN back in the early 2000s, and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire will be on another season in syndication, so that's good news. And Celebrity Deathmatch is returning with all new episodes on MTV2. Celebrity Deathmatch is a claymation series that happened in the 1990s and 2000s. I can't wait to see a celebrity death match between Julie Broughton, Local 6 weather reporter, against Dylan Dreyer, the Today's Show host, weekend meteorologist on claymation. That would be so funny. That's about it on the news. My third and final video blog subject of the night is my personality profile. Tonight's personality profile is about the legendary game show host Bob Barker. Bob Barker was on television for over 50 years, famously hosting the game shows Truth or Consequences and The Price is Right, and Bob Barker's animal rights activist and other stuff. Bob Barker real name is Robert William Barker, and he was born in Darlington, Washington, and he spent his youth on an Indian reservation in South Dakota, and he's 1/8 Sioux Indian. And when he was about 10 years old, Bob moved with his family to Springfield, Missouri. He graduated high school in 1941. Then he joined the U.S. Navy during World War II. Then in college, he worked part-time in a local radio station. And then in 1950, Bob went to Southern California to host a radio show called The Bob Barker Show, which lasted 6 seasons. And Bob went over to host television in 1956. He was tapped to host the daytime version of the classic game show Truth or Consequences, which was produced by Ralph Edwards. Ralph Edwards was looking for a new host for that show, and he looked for big names, but he got the name from the radio, Bob Barker, for Southern California, and a lot of NBC executives says it wouldn't work out because he was a big name on radio, but they didn't think he was a big name on television. So originally they only gave him like a 3-month contract, and on December 21st, 1956, Bob Barker made his TV debut as host of Truth or Consequences. That show became a hit, and Bob Barker's contract was renewed for several more years. He hosted Truth or Consequences for 18 seasons, and for many years afterwards, on December 21st, 1956, Bob Barker and Ralph Edwards would have dinner on that day to celebrate the anniversary of him being on television. The first time they did that every year to the day, the year Ralph Edwards passed away in 2005. And Bob Barker also hosted other shows during this time. He hosted a show called The End of the Rainbow, which was an audience participation show for Ralph Edwards Productions for about 6 months in 1957 and 1958. Also, Bob Barker hosted another game show for Chuck Barris Productions called Dream Girl of 1967 for a few months, and he also hosted The Family Game for Chuck Barris Productions on ABC for about a year, and it was like the family version of the Newlywed Game, but they did not have the suggestive questions like the Newlywed Game had, and it didn't click with the hits. Bob Barker also for many years hosted the Miss USA pageant and the Miss Universe pageant. And Bob was a very big name in like game shows and hosting stuff with his Truth or Consequences, which it lasted 9 seasons on NBC. Then they had a syndicated version, which lasted another 9 seasons. So Bob Barker hosted Truth or Consequences for 18 years, but he was just getting started for him to become a star. In 1972, Mark Goodson and Bill Todman reactivated The Price is Right to be returning to television as a game show after a 9-year run on NBC and ABC during the daytime and nighttime. And they were looking for a new host of the Price is Right. They tapped Bob Barker to become the host of the new Price is Right, which made its debut on September 4th, 1972, and Bob Barker took that job. The nighttime version of The Price is Right on syndication was hosted by Dennis James around this time as well. Bob Barker hosted The Price is Right for 35 years, and Price is Right set all kinds of records for like the longest running game show of all time, and Bob Barker became such a great host and stuff like that. He got more and more popular. The Price is Right on CBS was originally a half an hour, but eventually it became an hour. In November of 1975, Bob Barker won many Emmys for his hosting on The Price is Right and stuff, and he also appeared as a guest on several other Goodson Todman game shows. He was a kind of a semi-regular on Match Game, and he also was on Tattletales, which he appeared with his wife, Dorothy Joe. And for several years, Bob Barker hosted the Pillsbury Bake Off, which was an annual event, which was on CBS for many years. And also, around 1979, Bob Barker became an animal rights activist, and he became a vegetarian because of his wife he married was Dorothy Joe, and they were married for over 30 years until she passed away in 1981. Bob Barker became like a vegetarian and stuff, animal rights activist. He fought for animal rights. He didn't like the way animals are being treated, and especially the elephants in circuses and other circus animals. He didn't like that. He didn't like furs anywhere. He barred furs on The Price is Right. He eventually lost like his job hosting the Miss Universe pageant and Miss USA pageant because he wanted furs out of the competition. The producers did it one year, but the next year they brought it back in, so Bob Barker lost that job, but he was fighting for animal rights. In 1987, Bob Barker defined game show hosts, because usually game show hosts for many years dyed their hair black no matter how old they were because they wanted to look young. But Bob was in his mid-60s, and he decided he was dyeing his hair, but a couple of times it turned pink, so he decided to dye his hair gray. He cut the naturally grown gray, and that was good because other hosts afterward would do that, like Alex Trebek and Monty Hall. Also in 1987, Bob Barker became the executive producer of The Price is Right, and he continued on that job for many years as executive producer and host, and Price is Right got more and more popular on CBS and stuff. Ratings went through the roof, but Bob Barker had some troubles backstage and stuff like that. He was sued by a few models like Diana Parkinson and Holly Hallstrom and stuff, and some producers and stuff, but Bob survived these scandals and stuff like that, and The Price was Right continued to go strong. In 1996, Bob Barker made his movie debut when he appeared in the movie Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler. They have one of the most classic fight scenes in movie history, comic fight scenes, when Happy Gilmore fights Bob Barker and says to Bob, "The price is wrong, bitch." And then Bob fights back, and he's like, "You had enough. Oh, you had enough, bitch." Very funny, very funny. And Bob Barker has been in other like shows like Something So Right and The Family Guy, and he's appeared on many talk shows and stuff. And he actually was in the 60s Bonanza. He said in a 1999 biography on A&E, all the roles he wants goes to Brad Pitt. It being funny. Bob continues to host The Price is Right into 2007. Then he decided to retire after 35 years. He won a final Emmy, and he's enjoyed retiring pretty good. He's still like fighting for animal rights activists. He's made a few appearances on The Price is Right since then, in 2009, to promote his book, and also on 2013 to celebrate his 90th birthday, and then April Fool's Day 2015 he appeared briefly and stuff, which is pretty good. Bob's still going strong at 91 years old. He even made another appearance on on a Comedy Central special with Adam Sandler, and they did some fighting scenes again from a hospital and stuff. It was real funny, jokingly and stuff like that. And Bob Barker is probably the best game show host of all time. And every time he would be on the end of The Price is Right, he would say, "This is Bob Barker reminding you to help control the pet population. Have your pet sprayed and neutered. Goodbye, everybody." And that's about it on Bob Barker. And that's about it on the 5 Great One video blogs. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow. 3 more video blogs coming: Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. First one will be about what happened 150 years ago tomorrow, which was probably one of the most saddest days in American history. That was today Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, passed away after being assassinated at Ford Theater by John Wilkes Booth. Abe Lincoln was the first president to be shot in office and die in office. I'll tell you about Abe Lincoln, about one of the most tragic moments in the United States history. And the second video blog of the day will be about the famous Jerry the King Lawler versus Andy Kaufman feud in 1982 and 1983 in the CWA. And the third and final video blog of the night will start the personality profile of 5 NHL captains who led the team to the Stanley Cups. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Joe Sakic. Later on, it's going to be then Steve Yzerman, Scott Stevens, Mario Lemieux, and Lanny McDonald. And after that will be 8 WWE managers who led their clients to the WWE Championship. I'm not going to tell you the managers' names right now, but you'll get the idea. And then to end out the month will be 3 more. Will be Cleveland's greatest sports athletes. Some of them of all time: Bernie Kosar, Brad Doherty, and Jim Thome. And then in May, I don't know if the person I might be considering to keep the personality profiles going for May. Maybe wait until June to cancel to have for them to get off, but you never know. And good night, everybody, and see you later.